Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. You may have heard the old joke about the new pastor at a country church who received an anonymous gift. When she told the church council about it, she proposed it should be used to buy a new chandelier for the sanctuary. However, it was put to a vote, and the pastor was disappointed when her proposal was narrowly defeated. The pastor noted that the church council secretary had voted against the proposal, and when the meeting was over, she asked the secretary why he had not supported it. The secretary said he had 3 reasons. First, he said, I have to write the minutes of the meeting and I can't spell chandelier. Second, there's nobody in our church who knows how to play it. And finally, if we're going to be spending this money, what we really need is a new light in the church. I told that joke last year on the 5th Sunday after the Epiphany in my sermon. You see, the text that day is the same text we are considering today as we continue to explore times when lamps play a role in the Bible story. In this case, as part of the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." So I thought it might be a good idea today to simply share the sermon I preached last year. There on that hillside in Galilee, with a great crowd pressing in on all sides and straining to hear his every word, it was a simpler time, and it wasn't so hard to understand Jesus' words. Everyone knew about light, and everyone knew about dark, and everyone knew the welcome security and comfort of having a lamp to drive away the darkness of the night. But they also realized that Jesus was talking about something more, that he was telling them that how they lived their lives mattered. He was telling them that living a life in relationship with God gave light to others who were lost in a dark and dangerous world. He was telling them to let God's light shine through them so that others might see. It was clear what Jesus was saying. Faith was the light burning inside. Things aren't so simple now. Surrounded by LED, fluorescent, halogen, and mercury vapor, our need for light is not so urgent as it once was. There are lights everywhere you look, and in fact, astronomers have difficulty now finding places dark enough to be able to see the stars they study. And the same might be said about us. It's gotten hard to detect the spark of faith living in us against the flashing neon Vegas backdrop and the flickering, glowing television screen. In the world of today, what kind of lights are we? Sometimes I think our faith might best be described as a night light, glowing only dimly and existing only to help us bumble and grope our way through the darkness. Other times, maybe our faith resembles a flashing blue light, turned on and used only in the emergencies and crises of life, but turned off amidst the everyday traffic of life. A lot of times we treat our faith as a matter of convenience, like a flashlight. It's something we carry around, hoping we won't need it, but it sits ready just in case. Another kind of light is a spotlight, and that might describe our faith at times too. A spotlight lights up only select areas that we want lighted and leaves other areas in the dark. Sometimes we give our faith its moments to bask in the limelight, while the rest of our lives lurks in the shadows of sin and ambivalence. And then there's footlights, which might describe a faith that is a show, a production, or an act, but when the curtain falls, there's nothing there. You are the light of the world, Jesus said, but up till now, things haven't been shining too brightly, have they? Well, the good news is that we are God's people, and we shine in other ways too. You see, on the other hand, there are many, many floodlights among us. Floodlights spread it out and diffuse light over a large area, giving light and sending it out to touch as much as possible. I think there are a lot of floodlights, people who are living their faith day in and day out, spreading God's light in a dark world through loving deeds, kind words, and thoughtful prayers. Photographers sometimes use a term called ambient light. Ambient light is the natural light in a room, the light that is naturally and constantly available, seeming everywhere at once. And I think there's a lot of that kind of light around too. It's a faith light that is everywhere. And I think that's a good image for us as we leave church each week, diffusing ourselves out from worship into our homes and neighborhoods and workplaces to shine for Jesus there. And as we go about our lives, doing for others, loving God, the light shines throughout our community, constantly available and everywhere at once. And finally, there's sunlight. The sun gives light and warmth and growth, and it banishes the darkness. We may be compared to sunlight too, our lives giving light, our lives expressing the warmth of God's love, our lives offering growth in God's care, our lives shining the way out of sin's darkness for others to see, proclaiming Jesus, his forgiveness, and his love. We are sunlight to the world, for the light of Jesus, God's Son, shines within us and out from us. That church council secretary was right. We do need lights in the church. You are the light of the world, Jesus said. Let your light so shine before others that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.